Well, ahoy mateys and happy new year. We're jumping into 5.1 and 5.2 all in one video. I'm going to be kind of quick. The advantage of this is you have a pause button. So if I'm going too fast, just pause it or rewatch it. So you're going to start off with some great notes. We're going to learn about algebra, jumping right into algebra. So we're going to have algebraic expressions. That's basically just any number sentence that does not have an equal sign. If it has an equal sign, that's an equation. And what makes it algebra is that it involves variables. So variables are letters that can represent different numbers. And those numbers can change. They can vary, which is why they're called variables. Any individual part of an algebraic expression is called a term. So this example they have here, this 5p plus 4, has two terms. The first term is 5p. P is the variable. 5 is a number called a coefficient. So if you have a number next to a variable, that means to multiply, means it's 5 times p, but 5 is the coefficient, the p is the variable. And then that plus 4, the 4 is the second term. And if it doesn't have a variable next to it, it is called a constant. It's just 4 in this case. Okay, so this is what you should take notes on. Write these important words down, plus this example. And then we're going to jump into doing some of the examples with vocabulary. Here we go. All right, so if we have this expression, 5x plus 13, what are the terms? Okay, so for 5x plus 13, the terms are 5x and 13. It's got two terms. There we go. All right, what is the coefficient for 5x and 13? You might want to refer to the notes you just took. Okay, the coefficient is just 5. Okay, 5 is the coefficient. And 13 is the constant because there's no variable next to the 13. All right, so 5 is a coefficient because there's x next to it. 13 is a constant. It's by itself. So now we have the second expression, 2z squared plus y plus 3. So how many terms are there? Yeah, there's 3 terms. So in this case, we got 2z squared is the first term, y is the second term, and 3 is the third term. Okay, what is the coefficient for the 2z squared? Okay, the coefficient for the 2z squared is just 2. So it's just the number next to the z squared. Okay, this is a tricky one. What is the coefficient for y? Yeah, there's an invisible 1 next to the y. There's a 1y there. So the coefficient here is actually a 1, even though you don't see it here. That's an important thing to mentally take note of or write in your actual notes. And then 3 there is the constant term. It's just out by itself. There we go. So you've introduced yourself to variables, terms, coefficients, and constants. And we're going to jump into the next thing, which is how to write expressions and interpret expressions. So if we have d times d times d times d, quick reminder about exponents, you can just rewrite that as d to the 4th power. Where's my clicky? Where's my next button? It's hidden? What's going on here? Probably everything's going to appear all at once, I bet. Oh, there we go. All right. So that is d to the 4th power. So how would you rewrite 1.5 times h times h times h? Okay, the 1.5 is the coefficient, so it just goes out front. But then the h times h, you can rewrite as h cubed, h to the 3rd power. So there we go. Okay, next example, we'll be substituting numbers in for these variables. So evaluate k plus 25 when k plus 25, k plus 10 when k equals 25. What would that be? Okay, so you're going to replace k with 25, and you do 25 plus 10, which is 35. So that's how that works. This is very slow clicky today. Okay, so there we go. And then here, evaluating 4n when n equals 12. Okay, you multiply 4 times 12, and you get 48. There you go. That's simple. Okay, sometimes you will be given 2 numbers, 2 variables, and you substitute for both of them. So evaluate n minus m when m is 12 and n is 30. Okay, so for that one, you replace n with 30, m with 12, you rewrite it. I'm clicking, there we go. You rewrite it, and you get 30 minus 12. In this case, that is 18. Okay, there we go. And what about this one? A divided by B when A equals 16 and B equals 2/3. All right, so this is why we did, division of fractions. So you rewrite it, replace 16 for A, and replace B with 2/3. So it's 16 divided by 2/3. So then we do the, keep, change, flip. So it's 16 times 3 halves. 16 you can write as 16 over 1. You end up getting 24 when it's all said and done. All right, and then we're going to jump into solving real life problems, I believe. Word problems. Is that what we got going on here? Everything's really slow. What's happening here? Okay, we still have to get to 5, 2. I'm going to speed this along even more. Okay, same deal here. So evaluate 3x minus 14 when x is 5. All right, so common mistake. This does not mean 35. This means 3 times x. So you're going to do 3 times 5. Don't put 35 ever. That's just wrong. So 3 times 5 is 15. Minus 14 is 1. All right. So make sure you understand why this is 1. That's very important. Again, when you have a variable next to a coefficient, it doesn't mean that's the 10th digit. That's just wrong. It means multiply. Always multiply. Okay, for this one, n squared plus 8.5 when n is 2. What would that be? Okay, so you got to remember 2 squared is 4 because it means 2 times itself. And then 4 plus 8.5 is 12.5. Okay, so order of operations is always used. So substitute the number, then use order of operations. All right, we're going to get going into 5.2 here soon. I think we have a quick story problem. You're saving to buy a meteorite fragment for $125. You begin with $45, and then you save $3 each week. So that's the expression 45 plus 3W. Okay, can you buy the meteorite after 20 weeks? So how would you solve this? Yeah, what you're going to do is replace W with 20. So you do 45 plus 3 times 20. I'll just click on through. And when you do that, when you evaluate, you end up getting 45 plus 60. I'm clicking. This is taking a while here. And now it's frozen. Okay. Let it go. There we go. All right. So again, that 3 in front means multiply by W. You do 3 times 20. It's 105. I don't know why it's taking so long to click. This is very frustrating on this slow Chromebook at home. I don't even know if the video is still going. All right. Anyway, it's 105. No, you can't buy it. I'm moving on to the next slide. This is taking too long. Okay. Now we're jumping into 5.2, which is basically the same idea, except you're going to be writing the expressions, which means you have to understand when you see these phrases what they mean. So when you see the words sum, total, increase by, more than, plus, added to, those are all cues for the operation of addition. When you see minus, difference, less than, fewer than, take away, that's subtraction. When you see product or twice or tripled, multiplied by, times, those are all cues for multiplication. And quotient or divided by is division. So very important that you understand those. I'd suggest adding those to your notes right now. And now let's jump into interpreting and writing expressions. Slide myself over here. Whee! Okay. Everything's so slow. Fantastic. Okay. So what is the expression for 8 fewer than 21? Okay, so when you see fewer than or more than, the second number actually goes first. So it's going to be 21 minus 8. So that's the important thing is think about what's happening. If it's 8 fewer than 21, the 21 has to be first. So that is the expression. Product of 30 and 9. Okay, product means to multiply. So it's 30 times 9. There we go. You can use a times sign or a different time sign, the dot. Or you can put it in parentheses. This is also times. All right, so let's do some more expressions. Let's see how long this slide takes to load. This is fantastic. Here we go. 14 more than a number. How would you write that? Okay, so more than is Q for addition. So it's 14 plus X. In this case, for addition and multiplication, the order is not as important. For division and subtraction, the order is very important. I don't know why I clicked. There we go. Okay, so x plus 14. 14 plus x is technically okay. You're going to learn the properties that go with that in the next section. A number y minus 75. In this case, the y is first, and then you are subtracting 75 from it. So it's y minus 75. And this last one, the quotient of 3 and a number z. Okay, quotient is division, and the order is important for division. So 3 is first, z is second. You can write that as 3 divided by z, or 3 over z. I'm speaking, and this thing's not clicking, and it's very annoying. There we go. So you can write it this way. But the 3 is first, or on top. That's very important. So the order for subtraction and division, super important. If you need help with that, just ask me in class. And we got one more page of these, I believe. Let's see if this ever loads. Okay, fantastic. All right. I'll just sing and dance while I wait for this to load. Okay. Shooting this over my winter break, and it's taking away minutes I'm never going to get back of my break. All right. I think I'm going to skip the last slide. It's just another word problem, but it's the same idea. Here we go. All right. What I'm going to do is just let you read this over and decide which of these you think is the correct answer, just to save me video time. All right. What did you choose? Let's go through the answer here, if it lets me. Oh, boy. Taking forever. Okay. No, it's clicking through and going through Y. All right, so the 90 in Interstate 90, that's I-90, doesn't matter. So what does matter is this more than 2 times. So you're going to have a 2m. The more than means it's going to be addition. And you're adding the 153.5 to it. So if you said A, you are correct. Well done. Okay, so that's 5.1 and 5.2. It's a lot of vocabulary. If you need help while you're working through any of these problems this week, just let me know. And I will see you in class. Arr!